welcome to Genesis Martial Arts. I'm Mr. Melendez, and I'm going to teach you guys today how to do a strong jab cross from fighting stance. So welcome to my channel. Okay, so let's begin. First things first, you're going to want to stand in a strong stance. So you're going to take your right leg and step back, and you're going to have your feet slightly angled, and you're going to have them about more or less shoulder width apart. So you're going to have your hands up, and I'm just going to turn from the side here, how it'll look from this side, and back over here. Okay, so you want your hands up about chin level, and when you get closer to your opponent, that's when your hands will get higher to block your head, right? But you can have them a little bit lower and have your shoulders relaxed. So when you do your punches, you need to have your hands really tight, and you're going to have one hand in front of you and one hand back. So the hand that's in front of you, this is your jab hand. This is more or less like a measuring tool, and you use it to see when you make contact with your opponent, then you'll throw your cross. Okay, so if you switched your stance, so say if I just switch my stance over here, now I'm in this is called southpaw stance. And if I switch back to their standard, this is orthodox. I recommend everyone start training with orthodox stance, and then you can switch it up. Always learn both sides. So don't always do kicks with one leg. Train yourself to do kicks with both, and always train yourself once you feel comfortable to train in both stances, because in a situation like in a combat situation, you could be forced to step back and have an opportunity to do a cross from this position, right? So first I'm going to show you guys how to make the actual fist. So to make your fist, you're going to take your hand and you're going to essentially roll it as tight as you can. And I mean as tight as you can. So you're gonna, if you've never done this before, you should actually feel pain here, because you're actually, like, if you can see that, rolling it nice and tight. Now, when I was when I was learning, my teacher told me to keep it. He was a boxer. He told me to keep it really tight. But since then, I've known that when you get more comfortable, when you do a punch, you're going to keep your hands slightly loose, like slightly relaxed, and on the moment of contact, you're going to tighten. Now, as to which knuckles you'll hit with, you're going to hit with the big two. From Masatatsu Oyama's training, the founder of Kyokushinkai, he was making a video and he explained that there's not really much bone support here for these last three knuckles, or last two, but for these two knuckles here, there's a major bone alignment. So you're going to train yourself, you're going to do your knuckle push-ups on all of them. Do knuckle push-ups on, do your push-ups on, like, first start on carpet, then, or grass, and then go to carpet, carpet, grass, wood, floor, and then concrete. And then eventually you can start hitting like makiwaras, or like harder targets, and then you won't need gloves anymore. You can hit a heavy bag as hard as you can, but you do have to train up your wrists. But to start with, just roll your fingers nice and tight and use your thumb to lock your knuckle, your fist tight. Okay, so let's go back over here. Okay, so you're in your fighting stance, and we're gonna train jab first. So to learn the jab, to do the jab, you're essentially, just think of it like this. You're not, it's like you're reaching forward and grabbing something. Reach, grab. And I want you guys to do everything I teach you guys. You're gonna have to breathe out from deep within your internal. So I want you to do this like t. So t from deep within your core. It'll sound like t. That noise from within, that's the feeling you're gonna have to feel. So you're gonna breathe into when you breathe, and doing this every day, you're gonna just breathe into your stomach. When you breathe out, your stomach should compress. Always breathe out when you punch. So you have your hands up, you're going to reach forward, and essentially you're going to have your shoulder move first. That's why boxers, their shoulders are so loose and relaxed, because you're gonna throw not just your arm. It's not like you're punching with your arm. You're trying to throw your whole weight into that. So essentially it's like, right, you're throwing your whole your whole weight into that punch. And you're not also using your hands, you're actually using your feet to push off the ground and into that target. Essentially, you're falling into your opponent. You're essentially just trying to fall into them. So if I face over here and show you the jab, essentially you're going to use a lot of your hips, and you're going to have to pivot off your feet. So you're going to go on the balls of your feet, and you're going to throw out your jab. It has to be nice and straight, and you have to actually rotate. So in a lot of martial arts techniques I will show you on my channel, for Genesis Martial Arts, everything is rotation. Everything, when you make a sudden torque, that rotation movement, it helps with power, to build power for your blocks, for your kicks, for your strikes, hand strikes. So there's always a rotation somewhere in the technique. And when you do your punch, essentially the rotation is, so you lean forward, lean forward, lean forward, last second, twist. And you're not gonna punch like straight here. You're gonna wanna punch slightly to the diagonal so that your shoulder will cover your chin. And also, a punch is not just shh and you're done. You have to bring it back shh, shh, as fast as it came out. So it's essentially two parts. How should I say? When you push out, shh, the punch out, and then the return, right? So out, in, shh, 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 shh. Now there are a lot of different types of jabs, but I'm teaching the power jab. And again, you're gonna stay in your stance. You're not gonna have any chicken wings, because then someone can hook you in the stomach or do a nice turning kick to your stomach. So or your center. So you're gonna have your elbows in, and you're gonna have a nice tight guard with your one lead hand in front of you. Now the hand that's closer is your jab. The hand that's farther away has more distance, so more power can build up to that. More distance, more speed, more power, right? Now let's do cross now. So cross, essentially the same thing. So I'll do my jab here, right? I'm reaching forward. Even if you watch some professional boxers, they'll actually shift their lead leg a bit when they're gonna do their jab, right? Because they're putting all their weight forward into the attack. So jab, cross, and this hand is actually helping you because it's attached. You're going to use your back muscles to help pull this back. And when you do your cross, watch carefully. So you reach forward, reach forward, reach forward. This hand is pulling, this one's pushing forward. And again, over here, I'll show you this way. So jab, cross, and I'm twisting my hips, because you're going to twist your hips to actually generate more power too. And the more relaxed your hips are, then the more power you can generate. Okay, so cross time. So watch me, I'm on my balls on my feet. So hands are at my chin, starting point. I'm leaning forward, pushing off my back leg, and punch. And I'm aiming my forearm is like a gun, like a rifle sights, like a gun sight. And you're going to look down the barrel and aim. And if you can see your knuckles, then you're pointing too high. Then when you hit something, you're going to hit here. You really need to have that angle at a precise position so that you can make contact with your big two. Trust me, it'll hurt if you hit something hard and you hit with those small knuckles. So that's good for knocking doors, but the big ones are good for breaking the door, right? Okay, so I have my hands up and jab. All my weight has just shifted onto my lead leg. Cross. Now I'm pushing more or less with my back foot. So it's like a weight transfer. Maybe I'll put one in slow-mo. And your head has weight, so you could even use your head to help lean into the attack, but don't lean too much, because then you're gonna be off balance and you're gonna compromise your stance. You always never want to compromise your stance. So you're in fighting stance. Let's actually start again. Hi. And again, 1, 2. Has to come back to your chin as fast as you sent it out there. All right, guys, thank you for watching.